Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be making a healthy version of top ramen, which is going to be made in under 15 minutes and is also vegan, so stay tuned. I am attempting to record a video with my son. I'm just gonna pick him up because he is being a little rascal right now. Aren't you? Yes, you are. This is my son Kyrie. Say hi. Hi. He is also vegan. He's been plant-based vegan his whole life, and even while I was pregnant with him. More on that in other videos. But how many of you guys grew up on top ramen and cup of noodles? Leave some comments down below on what your favorite way to eat it was, because I used to because I used to put a ton of hot sauce in mine. I would add like lemon, like chips, like I put a ton of stuff. Like, I mean, we can really get into it, but I don't know about you guys, but growing up I used to eat a ton of cup of noodles. Like, I loved soup, I loved spicy, I loved really spicy noodles. Obviously nowadays I went plant-based. I eat only like plant-based whole foods, and cup of noodles is just not healthy for you. Like, there's a bunch of gluten, there's a bunch of oils, there's a bunch of MSG, there's a bunch of things that I just no longer consume anymore. So I wanted to find a healthier option, and I wanted to find an option that was really quick. So I made this cup of noodles or top ramen style dish that is kind of like reminiscent of like a, if I had to give it a name, I would call it like tapatio top ramen. I'm trying to do more really quick vegan easy meals, and also things that like kids will like and things that are simple. Let's just jump right into it. I hope you guys enjoy. There will be a mukbang at the end. Okay, so to begin, we are going to need one dried ancho chili, and then from there we are going to use 4 of these dried guajillo chilies. And so here is the last one of the guajillo chilies. We only need one more set of chiles left, and that is the chile de arbol. Now these are also dried. You are going to want to use your own discretion for how many of these you're going to want to use. I like a lot of spice in mine, so I'm going to use about 8 of these, but if you don't like too much spice, I would suggest sticking to about 3 or 4. The next step that I do is de-seed them and take all of the stems off. This is optional. I just don't like there to be too many blended seeds in my sauce, so like I said, you can choose to do this or not. I don't do it for the small chilies, the chile de arbos, but for the rest of them I do. For those of you with a Mexican background, this may look familiar to you because these are the chilies that are usually made as the starter or base for pozole, menudo, or even consomme. I particularly really like to use this base for a lot of other dishes as well. It just gives so much flavor. So I'm just going to speed this up here. You guys get the point. I also make sure to take out some of the core that has the seeds in it as well. And we are all done with that. So now that we have all of our dried chilies together, we are going to boil some hot water. I'm going to use about 1.5 cups of spring water. And I use my tea kettle here to boil this water, so it just takes just a few minutes. And while that's heating up, I wanted to show you guys some of the noodles that I love to use for this recipe. This brand is my favorite. It's by the 3 Ladies, and it's the pho rice stick noodles. And if you like vermicelli noodles, this is also a great brand as well. And now that the water is nice and boiled, we are going to top all of the chilies with the boiling water and let it sit for at least 5 minutes. This is going to allow our chilies to soften up before we blend them. Try and make sure they are fully submerged so that they all get nice and soft. You can cover this with a plate, or you can do what I did and just cover this with a heavy tool that goes to my molcajete. So I told you guys this recipe is fast. So next up, we are going to boil some water for our noodles. Make sure you add some sea salt in there as well, because you want the water to be pretty salty like the ocean. Next up, we are going to add about a 1/2 teaspoon of cumin seeds to the blender, or you can use ground cumin as well. Then we will also do 1 tablespoon of some garlic powder. Of course, you could use fresh garlic if you'd like, but we are trying to make this recipe fast and as quick as possible. Next up, I'm going to add some dried onion, about a tablespoon. You can use onion powder, that's fine as well. And now that your dried chilies have been soaking, you are going to add the dried chilies along with the water that it was soaking in into the high-speed blender. I also want to note that depending on the chilies, sometimes the water can turn out a little bit bitter, and if it does, don't worry, we are going to be able to adjust this later once we taste it. And next up, we are going to add some sea salt. This is going to be to taste, but I'd say do about a 1/2 teaspoon, and we can always add more later.
Next up, let's get this all nice and blended. You don't want there to be any chunks or seeds left. Now let's speed this up a little bit, and then we're going to pour this into a pan and heat it up. Next up, we're going to add about 2 cups of water to this. What you see me doing here is putting the water in the blender just so I can kind of clean up the blender, make sure I get all of that chili, and then I'm going to pour that water into the pan as well. While this is cooking on medium high, I just stir it up a little bit. You're going to want to let this get up to a boil. And while we're doing that, we can put our noodles into the pot so those can start to cook because this is going to be done very soon. And you'll see me taste it in just a second just to make sure the taste is good. And this is sped up a bit, so that's why you see it's already simmering now and pretty much ready to go so we can get to our noodles. I love that these noodles only take a few minutes to boil, so they're really quick. And you guys get the idea. I kind of stir them around a little bit and then I'm going to speed this up. And then once they're done, we are going to transfer them to the bowl that you're going to eat it in. I use a really large bowl. My apologies, for some reason while I was transferring it over, it did not record that part, but this is what they look like. You can make sure to taste the noodles before you put them into your bowl just to make sure they are the texture that you like. And then you're going to get the chile sauce base and pour about a few big spoonfuls in there. So I am going to put a few large spoonfuls of the chile sauce that we made onto the noodles. This is the part where you can taste it to determine if you want to add more or less. Now I'm getting some water from the pasta water and I'm adding that in there just to kind of dilute the concentration of the chili a little bit to make it more of like a top ramen. You have a lot left over, so if you want more of the chile in there, add more. If you want less, you can add water, or you can just leave it as it is. Now it's all done. You can stop here if you'd like, but this is one addition I like to do is add a spoonful or two of my garlic sauce in there. This garlic sauce recipe is in my shorts. It just gives it another little flavor bomb. So I mix that up and you can really add whatever you want from here. I'm just going to keep it really simple today and just do some cilantro and this garlic sauce. And like I said, by itself, it's just really good. It's really reminiscent of the top ramen or a cup of noodles, but without all the bad things. And that is all I got for you guys. Super simple and easy. Feel free to add whatever you want. Here it is, me tasting it. And make sure to stay tuned for the mukbang if you'd like to see that. Otherwise, we are done with the recipe.
Is it good? So here it is, you guys. Kyrie's eating his lemon. I gave him some noodles. This is too spicy. I don't want to give this to him. But I just gave him some of the plain noodles. So this is it here. Oh, look how hot it is. Okay, so this ramen, you can add whatever you want to it. I have some veggies that are in the oven, but I'm just gonna eat it plain because this is how I used to eat it mostly as a kid. Feel free to put some like fresh onions. I just put a little bit of cilantro and added some lemon, but but we're just gonna eat it plain like this. So it really reminds me of, you know, when you would make top ramen or cup of noodle and you put a lot of tapatio in it. That's what it reminds me of. So let's just get started. I'm hungry. I don't even know what to say. I don't have my mic on, so I'm not sure if you can hear the ASMR, but it's all right. And having soup on like a cold day, so good, is my favorite. I'm one of those people that I will eat soup. You eating your noodles? I will eat soup on a hot day, like scorching hot, like past 100 degrees.
Wow.
Kyrie has loved eating lemons, like how he's eating them, since he was little, like since he was like a few months old. That was one of the first things I let him bite on. This is not too spicy. So what I do have is some little, I think they're called chile pequins or something like that. I'll show you. This right here. And you just pop in your mouth. It's too spicy for you, Papa. They give a little, they pack a little punch with like a little like fragrant citrusy note. But if you wanted yours to be really spicy, you can add more of the chile de arbol. Like those have more spice to it. I did 8. I would suggest if you don't like spicy to do like maybe like 6. But I could have added more, but I have those little chiles, so it's fine. My nose is already starting to run a little bit from the spiciness, but I love it. Also, you can use any type of noodles that you like. Like some people like to use the vermicelli, but you want to refrain with this quick recipe. You don't want to use any like really thick noodles. You see yourself? Because the really thick noodles, it won't take on a lot of the flavor, so it'll be kind of bland. But really, you guys, it's that simple to make. It's basically like you're starting to make a pozole, but no pozole, just noodles, and much quicker. And like I said, the cool things about this is that you can add whatever you like to it. Like you can treat it like a real, like, exquisite ramen. You can add all the veggies and any different kind of mushrooms that you want. It's really up to you and how you want to do it. You can add more spice to it. You kind of just make it your own. I just kind of gave you the base of it. Because sometimes, as a plant-based whole food person, you still miss some of the foods that you used to like eat or that you grew up eating that like are super nostalgic. It's so funny watching him eat noodles, like the long ones, because last time I told you guys, like in the last pasta video, he usually doesn't like them, but for some reason these rice ones, I let him try them and he's down with it. So hey, we're here. I need a little spice in my next bite. It's getting hot in here. He was just being a little fussy earlier, but he's being so chill right now. He got his lemon and his noodles, okay? I'm on my last few bites, but yeah, you guys try this out. And the cool thing about this is that there's that leftover on the stove. So like you just put that away and store it in the fridge. You can have it for like the next few days or share it with your family. Just store the sauce part in a jar. You don't want to store the noodles with it because it'll soak up all of the juice right away and it won't be the same. can eat really fast sometimes. I feel like I ate this in like 10 minutes. Oh goodness. So even for me, at my it's like there's a little bit of sauce left. So if you're still hungry, you can add some more noodles. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more. Look how hot they are still. I'm gonna add a little bit more there. I'm gonna mix it up. Oh shoot. Okay. I'm gonna like mix it up there. And then I'm just gonna eat the rest of it. Tyree's getting a little antsy. And I'm just gonna eat this. You want more noodles? You still have some right there. But anyways, like I said, I'm on my last few bites. I've kind of given you guys some noodle dishes back to back. I'm gonna have to get off soon because this little guy's not, he's ready to get out. He's like, Mom, I'm ready to get out. Get me up out of here. All right, this is my last bite, you guys. Oh, just fell.
Wow.
All done. Of course, lipstick's gonna come off a little bit, right? Did you have fun? Did you have fun? Are you ready to go? You wanna say bye-bye? You do it. Bye-bye. All right, you guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. 1, 2, 3. Smile, give me a kiss. Mama! Yeah, that's Mama.